Hello and welcome to the 45th episode of our Mod of the Month series, taking a look at the best mods made for Morrowind each month as decided by you guys in an online poll. And as always, I'm your host, Dark Elf Guy, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best mods of January 2019. And January was really a pretty exciting month for the modding community, with some 71 new mods released, making this one of the most active Januaries on record for Morrowind. And this included a wide array of new gameplay mods, town mods, dungeons, graphics, even some music mods, and much more. But of course, we can only take a look at 3 of those mods today, though I do feel like I should, give one honorable mention before we start. A better music system redone by Mort came extremely close to being in our top 3 list for January. And it's certainly a rather impressive looking music mod that, just adds a ton of new music to the game here. And it's definitely worth checking out for yourself. But with that out of the way, as always, down links along with a link to our new online poll for the best mods of February 2019 can be found down below. And just real quick, I do need to apologize for the narration here. I have a bit of a sore throat today, which might be a bit obvious. It's just, the weather here has just been up and down for the past few weeks, and it is just driving me crazy. And, yeah, I've got a bit of a sore throat as a result. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our mod of the month here, which for January 2019 is a QuickLoot By Mort. And this is really another in a long line of MWC Lua mods that, after just playing with it for a bit, I consider to be an absolutely essential and an absolute must-have mod. But first, let's go over what it does, and in essence, a QuickLoot adds a QuickLoot system to a Morrowind, similar to what you can find in Fallout 4, and basically this shows you the items in a particular container just by hovering your mouse cursor over them, and you can even use the scroll wheel to select or highlight a particular item in that container, and then you can use the Z key to loot just that one item, or the X key to loot all the items in the container, and of course empty containers will be just labeled as empty. And this is just such an extremely easy to use convenience feature, and one that makes looting just a lot faster, that it's really easy to see why this is our mod of the month for January here. There's just no reason why you wouldn't want to use this mod. And as always, because it is a Lua mod, it'll work with almost every other mod out there except, of course, OpenMW. So that means it'll work seamlessly with pretty much all the containers in the game world, except for, a few containers that might have a script attached to them. And yes, for those wondering, this, includes a support for corpses, so when you kill an NPC, you'll be able to do a quick loot of them, taking just what you want on the fly without having to open up any tedious inventory screens, which is, again, just, really handy and convenient. And not only that, but Quick Loot also comes with a fairly robust set of configuration settings that you can change and modify on the go, as we can see here from the MCM. This includes everything from hiding the contents of locked containers, setting different key bindings for quick looting, setting the number of items that can be displayed, changing the menu position, and just a fair bit more. And with so many features and options, all while, providing a fairly simple and convenient looting mechanic that will doubtless save you just hours of having to click through a bunch of container menus, there can be little doubt that this mod more than deserves to be our mod of the month for January 2019. And next up, our second pick for the mod of the month here is Necrom, Arkitektora of Morrowind by Tyddy. And now, this is obviously a graphics replacer for the city Necrom, perhaps one of the most unique and iconic cities entirely built, and one of the most sacred cities in Morrowind, the City of the Dead. It's also a bit of a fan favorite, so it comes really as no surprise that Tyddy's retexture here came extremely close to winning the mod of the month, missing out by only a single vote. But anyway, this replacer package replaces the textures for a Necrom with a new, crisp, and vanilla-style 2K resolution textures, which are, a bit just higher resolution than the original textures for Necrom, and indeed, entirely built unlike its sister projects such as Province Cyrodiil and Skyrim Home of the Nords, hasn't had quite the same focus on providing high-resolution texture support for the new content they add to the game, though this is, something that's been worked on for the future. But anyway, most of what you see in Terry build currently was created with, vanilla-style resolutions in mind. And either way, Tyddy's new high-resolution textures come as a welcome addition to make this just unique and one-of-a-kind city even more beautiful than ever. with a pristine white brick and green trimmed walls and buildings standing out even more so than before in this necropolis and City of the Dead. Tyddy's Arkitektora series has always done a pretty fantastic job of just improving upon the textures in the base game, while keeping the original style and feel, and it's quite evident he's made another just really excellent replacer here that just enhances the City Necrom. And this is actually going to be the first in a new series of replaces by Tyddy for Qwerty build, so you can look forward to even more just high resolution and high quality replaces in the future that'll just, provide a visual enhancement to the Morrowind mainland. And in any event, this is just an excellent replacer mod, and one that's really a must-have for, playing Qwerty build, and all that makes it our second pick for the mod of the month here. And finally, our last pick for the mod of the month is HQ Weapons by EJ12, aka Hedgehog12, and Qwerty. And this is actually, another replacer mod, this time a weapons replacer, which replaces a variety of weapon sets and artifacts in the game, with new models and textures, including silver weapons, Daedric weapons, glass weapons, doom weapons, and so on and so forth. And these model replaces might look just a bit familiar to some of you, because they're actually from the Symphony Overhaul mod by Hedgehog12, which we showcased way back in 2016. They've been given a slight visual improvement by Qwerty here, and released as a standalone replacer, so you don't need to, install the rest of the Symphony Overhaul if you don't want to. And in any event, these replaces, like most of Hedgehog12's work, have a bit of a just unique flair to them, which might be called a bit just over the top at times, but nonetheless, these are some pretty cool looking weapons with a lot of character put into their designs, and for the most part, looking just completely different from their vanilla game counterparts. This probably isn't a mod, for vanilla purists out there, but even so, one has to admit that the just model and texture quality work here is really pretty impressive, with a lot of detailing and decorative additions added to these weapons here. And now, we're not going to take a look at every replacer in this package, and indeed to do so would take a fair bit of time, as there's something like 30 to 40 weapon replacers included here. But instead, we're just going to, take a look at a few of the weapons covered by this mod here, and a lot of them almost seem to have glowing effects attached to them, either along the hilt or the blade, and a few even seem to have, reflective qualities added to the blades, which is a cool little, visual addition here. And obviously, this replacer package won't appeal to everyone, but, there's some pretty neat stuff here. And either way, it's a great looking replacer mod, which, makes it our third and final pick for the mod of the month. And that wraps up our video here. As always, down the links are down below, and don't forget to vote for your favorite mods of February 2019. And in any event, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.